Heart-stopping images of a fiery car crash. Officers arriving on the scene just in time to jump into action, pulling two people from the burning vehicle that had gone up in flames. One of the victims on fire themselves. The incredible rescue caught on police body camera. Fortunately, the victims survived. Vaccine trifecta. The FDA clearing the way for Johnson & Johnson's vaccine to join Pfizer and Moderna for mass distribution, saying the new one-dose vaccine is, quote, safe and effective. 4 million doses ready to ship as soon as the green light is given. So what does this mean for the timetable to deliver enough shots for every adult American? The latest on Tiger Woods' car crash. The sheriff today calling it purely an accident and that no evidence had been found to criminally charge him. The golf superstar lucky to be alive and recovering from surgery in the hospital. What his long road ahead may look like, as many wonder if he'll ever play professionally again. The family of a 30-year-old man claims he died after a police officer knelt on his neck for nearly 5 minutes. His mother recorded the disturbing video after she says she saw his eyes rolling to the back of his head. His family says his last words were, "Please don't kill me," how the department is now responding. And while lawmakers on Capitol Hill are set to vote on the third round of stimulus checks, a look at why that money is a lifeline for some.
Come live in the shoes of somebody who's not as fortunate as you for just about 2-3 weeks and then tell me if that stimulus check is needed.
While the vaccine rollout has been an uphill climb here in the U.S., tonight why the EU is facing even bigger challenges in protecting its people from COVID and why it's not just anti-vaccine sentiment and a legacy in limbo. The family of the woman who inspired the Aunt Jemima brand and perfected that famous pancake mix now reacting to Quaker Oats' decision to completely replace the brand.
Your biggest hope was that what? That they would actually just put the histories of the actual women in place of Aunt Jemima?
That was our hope, that they would do the right thing.
Tonight, giving the very real trailblazer a memorial she deserves. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. In his famous moonshot speech in 1961, John F. Kennedy famously said, "We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do other things not because they are easy, but because they are hard." It took 8 years and roughly 400,000 people to make that small step for mankind possible. Tonight, one of the moonshots of our generation, the race to vaccinate the world, is on the precipice of another giant leap forward. An unprecedented third effective vaccine in less than a year, likely to get the green light. The FDA now says the Johnson & Johnson vaccine meets the requirements for emergency use authorization. Johnson & Johnson says its one-shot vaccine is 100% effective at preventing COVID deaths. An FDA meeting on Friday could clear the way for those shots to begin being injected by this weekend. This comes after another important milestone today. Vaccines arrived in Ghana as part of a vaccine sharing initiative to get doses to the entire world. Back here in the U.S., more than 44 million Americans have already received at least one dose. And tonight, doctors are excited about what the Johnson & Johnson vaccine could mean for the overall effort. Our Eva Pilgrim leads us off.
Tonight, just days away from potential emergency use authorization, the U.S. is now likely on the verge of a third vaccine, and this time a single dose, and the news is promising. New analysis today finding the Johnson & Johnson one-dose vaccine safe and effective. 86% effective for preventing severe illness in the U.S. alone, and 100% effective in preventing hospitalizations or deaths. Another key finding, the report saying the single-dose vaccine may also prevent some asymptomatic disease when you don't even know you have it, which means it could help reduce the spread of the virus.
Preliminary analysis suggests that the vaccine provides a 74% protection against asymptomatic disease, which is important because if you can prevent asymptomatic disease, then you will also reduce transmission.
The FDA saying the vaccine had the expected side effects like fever and fatigue, but no reports of severe allergic reactions.
Overall, the vaccine provides very robust protection throughout the world including against the worrisome viral variants.
So what does this mean for the vaccine supply in the U.S.? Johnson & Johnson says it could have 3 to 4 million doses sent out next week. It could have 100 million doses by the summer. Pfizer and Moderna already promised enough doses for all Americans by the end of July. So this newest vaccine could simply add to that supply. The U.S. could actually have a surplus, enough for 400 million people by midsummer.
The prospect of a potential third approved vaccine is very encouraging and will help to increase the overall vaccine supply, which will allow more Americans to get access to getting vaccinated sooner.
And tonight, news for the thousands of so-called long haulers, COVID victims who still have symptoms months later. The National Institutes of Health has announced an official study into long haulers after a recent study found about 1/3 of COVID patients followed reported lingering symptoms as long as 9 months after being sick.
An important part of this would be to design therapeutic approaches, hopefully by medications that we already have. We just need to know how to use them.
That focus not just on vaccines, but on therapies as well. Eva Pilgrim joins us now from Brooklyn. And Eva, when the FDA issues reports within a day or two, we've seen the emergency authorizations pretty quickly. For Johnson & Johnson, it could come as soon as Friday. How soon might Americans actually get shots, and how many of those doses will initially go out?
So it's not a guarantee, but all signs are that it's a go. And the Biden administration says as soon as they get the green light, they are ready to go. So 3 to 4 million doses could be going out next week, Lindsay.
And Eva, in the race to vaccinate, there is little time to celebrate. But for the scientific community, a third effective vaccine is truly a remarkable accomplishment. What excites doctors so much, particularly about this new vaccine?
There's a few things that really get the medical community excited about this vaccine. One, it's only one dose. So you only have to give one dose to a patient and they are fully inoculated. The second thing is it can be transported and stored in a normal refrigerator. It doesn't have to be stored in those sub-zero crazy cold temperatures. And finally, this vaccine was actually tested on these variants that exist that we're facing right now, many of which are considered to be more contagious than that original strain. So we know how this vaccine is going to respond to those variants, and everything in the studies have shown that it responds positively. 85% effective at preventing severe illness, 100% at preventing people from hospitalization and deaths. Those are the important numbers when you look at how this vaccine performs, Lindsay.
Eva Pilgrim, our thanks to you. Next tonight, to the new details that we're getting in from California on Tiger Woods' horrific crash. The golf star clearly lucky to be alive after his SUV flipped going down a dangerous stretch of road. His injuries substantial. A rod has now been inserted into his leg, held together by pins and screws. We'll have more on Woods' expected recovery in just a moment, but first, our Matt Gutman has the latest.
Tonight, Tiger Woods is recovering from a crash that sent his car tumbling over a median and through a stand of trees, and had many fearing he wouldn't make it. He survived, but his legendary career is threatened like never before. When sheriffs found him, he was trying to pull himself from the mangled SUV despite multiple fractures in his legs. During emergency surgery, doctors inserting a metal rod in the golf great's right tibia below the knee to stabilize the bones, which were shattered. Screws and pins were also implanted to broken bones in his foot and ankle. The swelling so bad, doctors had to cut away tissue to relieve dangerous pressure and swelling in his muscles and to prevent nerve damage. New surveillance video obtained by TMZ showing a car like the one Tiger was driving with a location that matches where Tiger Woods would have been driving moments before the accident. LA Sheriff calls this a particularly dangerous stretch of road. You can see this runaway ramp to my right, and that's because over the past 13 months, he told us, there have been 13 accidents on this road, 4 of them with injuries. And LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva saying officers determined that Woods was not under the influence.
This is purely an accident.
Woods was on his way to join football great Drew Brees and others at a golf course for a second day of shooting for Discovery TV. The day before that, he was with NBA great Dwayne Wade.
It was a great day, and I woke up today so proud to be able to post that moment, for the world, and be able to get like a little snippet of our moment together. And I took a nap, and I woke up, and I woke up to the news.
Tiger Woods has endured well over a dozen surgeries over his storied career and pain. Brought to his knees by this shot in 2013.
Wow.
And he went down in pain.
Already recovering from his 5th back surgery, Woods told CBS he was hoping to come back in time for golf's biggest tournament, the Masters.
God, I hope so. I got to get there first.
You feel like
a lot of it's based on my surgeons and my doctors and my therapists, and making sure that I do it correctly, and this is the only back I got.
But tonight, his fellow golfers are not concerned with his career. They're just grateful their friend is alive.
Everyone should just be grateful that he's here, that he's alive, that his kids haven't lost their dad. That's the most important thing.
That is certainly the most important thing. Matt Gutman joins us now. And Matt, the sheriff seemed definitive today that no criminal charges will be filed against Woods. But as the investigation continues, could there be more details to come out that could change that?
Absolutely. One of the things that has been surprising, at least to us covering it, is that when you go to the crash site, there's almost nothing other than where Tiger Woods crashed into the trees. There are no skid marks. There's no destroyed foliage or trees other than where he crashed. And officials say that's one reason that the black box is going to be so important. There was one on that vehicle, and investigators are going to have an opportunity to examine it. But again, they're talking about an infraction here, not necessarily something on the level of a misdemeanor or a crime for reckless driving. This will probably be just a speeding ticket if Tiger Woods gets anything.
And it also sounds like the road where he crashed was known to have issues and be problematic.
Lindsay, when we first got to the scene, there were several bystanders, residents who were local there, and said, we know this road. There are always crashes on this road, and you heard us in the piece. It was very surprising for us to learn that just over the past year plus, there have been 13 accidents with 4 injuries just along that stretch of road. And, I've driven a lot of places in the country. I've never been in a suburban area that had 2 runaway vehicle ramps on the side of the road. So obviously officials in this county knew that this is dangerous to the extent that at this point, and just recently, tonight, the County of LA announced that it is going to launch an official review, a safety review of that road. Lindsay.
Matt Gutman, our thanks to you. We turn now to Dr. Teo Mendez, director of the Orthopedic Care Center at Lenox Hill Hospital in New York, for some insight on Tiger Woods' injuries and the road ahead. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us.
Thank you, Lindsay.
So first, I just want to go over the significant injuries that Tiger Woods suffered to his lower right leg, according to the statement released by UCLA Harbor Medical Center, where he underwent surgery. And they said comminuted open fractures affecting both the upper and lower portions of the tibia and fibula bones were stabilized by inserting a rod into the tibia. Additional injuries to the bones of the foot and ankle were stabilized with a combination of screws and pins. Now, of course, you have not seen Tiger's case, but let's put up an X-ray of what a normal lower leg looks like and explain to our viewers what types of fractures that Tiger suffered and the action taken to stabilize them.
Yeah, so the fractures that he suffered, basically he had a comminuted fracture, meaning that it was broken in multiple places in both of the 2 bones of the lower leg. It was also open, meaning the bone penetrated through the skin. So we know those were stabilized first by cleaning out any dirt or contaminants in the wound. Subsequently, he had pressure relieved from the muscles around the lower leg to prevent damage from lack of oxygenation. And then he had a titanium rod placed in the leg. So that's what we know. He also had unknown fractures to both the hindfoot and ankle. The severity of those injuries is unclear, and I think how they were treated are really going to determine the length of recovery.
And the statement noted that they used screws and pins to stabilize the injuries to his foot and ankle. Explain when that type of intervention is needed and what it could mean as far as the extent of his injuries here.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot we don't know about those injuries. It could be something as simple as an ankle fracture, which tends to be able to recover relatively quickly after healing for about 6 weeks. If there's an injury to the talus, which is the bone on the bottom of the ankle, or into the hind foot, some of the other small bones in the foot, it can be a much longer recovery with concerns for loss of blood flow, concerns for the bone healing appropriately, and really can lead to problems both with ambulation and obviously return to sport.
And so obviously we're asking you to speculate here, but if you could give us like a best case scenario or worst case scenario, what could recovery look like in the days and weeks ahead for Tiger, and to get back to just everyday activity as a result of these injuries?
Yeah, so I mean, best case scenario, over the next few weeks, he doesn't develop an infection in his open fractures in his lower leg. The wounds heal, his bone starts to heal, and we start to see evidence of that in approximately about 6 weeks on X-rays, early evidence of healing. And his foot and ankle injuries are relatively minor, without concern, without involvement of the hind foot. A simple ankle fracture. Best case scenario, he's up walking in 2 or 3 months, putting weight on it. Of course, if he has an injury to any of those small bones in the foot or the hind foot, I think he may need further surgery. It's something that there's a lot of issue with blood flow in some of those bones. After they're injured, they sometimes do not heal, and sometimes you need to do a second surgery, which would be a fusion procedure where we actually put two bones together and take out the articulated portion of the joint.
And again, of course, with the caveat that we're asking you to speculate, of course, we don't yet know the full extent of his injuries or just how he'll recover. Is it possible to get back to the level of an elite professional athlete after this sort of trauma?
Well, listen, we have great evidence actually from the NFL. Alex Smith, quarterback for the Washington Redskins, came back from a compound open fracture of his lower extremity, which he also had compartment syndrome. Now, it's a much different injury. It's a much different level of energy versus a car accident. And, again, I think a lot of that's going to be predicated by the unknown fractures to his foot and ankle.
So just to kind of button up, you don't think that this is necessarily career-ending, or at least it doesn't have to be career-ending?
Listen, I think Tiger has been through a lot. He's just coming off his 5th back surgery. He's recovered from all of those. This is a totally different beast. I think until we know more about how bad the injuries are to his foot and ankle, we're not going to be able to give great prognosis on career ending, but I wouldn't count him out just yet.
All right, fair enough. Dr. Mendez, we thank you so much for your time, your insight.
Thank you.
Next tonight, calls for South Dakota's Attorney General to resign for his behavior after he struck and killed a man with his car last September. Jason Rounsberg insists that he thought he hit a deer, but in newly released interrogation video, investigators are seen telling him the man's face hit the windshield and his glasses were found inside the car. Here's ABC's Alex Perez.
Quite frankly, wham. With calls for his resignation growing, tonight those disturbing interviews with South Dakota Attorney General Jason Rounsberg recalling the night he struck and killed 55-year-old Joe Beaver. I'm thinking it's a deer at this point. Authorities releasing recordings of 2 interrogations the Attorney General faced in the days after the deadly crash last September.
911, this is Allie. How can I help you?
Allie, Allie, I'm the Attorney General. I hit something by Highmore and it was in the middle of the road.
But investigators disputing that.
One of the other things that we know, Jason, is you weren't in the middle of the road. You were on the shoulder.
The South Dakota AG maintains he never realized he had struck a person. Then, this chilling moment when investigators asked about a pair of glasses that belonged to the victim and were found inside the car.
They're Joe's glasses. I wondered about that. So that means his face came through your windshield.
And Lindsay, this case continues to unfold. The Attorney General has been charged with 3 misdemeanor charges, but none for the death of Joe Beaver, something that Beaver's family calls disappointing. Now, the AG insists that he will not resign, but one state legislator there has already introduced articles of impeachment to have him removed. Lindsay?
Lots of pressure for him to leave office. Alex, our thanks to you. And now to Washington, where House Democrats are moving forward on a vote Friday on President Biden's nearly $2 trillion COVID relief package. The plan includes a third round of stimulus checks, this time worth up to $1,400 each. Millions of Americans have used the first 2 payments to buy daily essentials and pay bills during the pandemic, but some are also saving the checks instead of spending them. So where would another round of checks likely go? Here's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
For 27-year-old Advante Copeland, the $600 stimulus check came just in time.
I was for sure tracking its progress.
A special education assistant and assistant athletic director at a high school in Minneapolis, Copeland's work became unpredictable as classrooms went virtual. So he relied on his stimulus money to help pay the bills.
Rent, phone, my car payment.
How many ups and downs have there been over the past year financially and with your job?
There's been more downs than ups, for sure, where I'm not working, I'm not able to do anything, but the bills are still coming.
Census Bureau data shows 80% of households earning less than $75,000 per year initially use their stimulus checks to pay for expenses, with food, utilities, household supplies, and rent at the top of the list. Copeland says for Americans like him struggling to make ends meet, the direct payments are a lifeline.
If they're working a small-end job and all of their money goes to food and gas and household appliances, then they're left with literally chump change.
The federal government has sent 2 rounds of tax-exempt checks to Americans in the past year. $1,200 last spring and another $600 at the end of the year for individuals making up to $75,000 or couples earning up to $150,000. New data from the Commerce Department showed the most recent checks contributed to a spike in retail sales in January in categories from furniture to appliances to clothes. And now President Biden promises additional $1,400 payments as part of his $1.9 trillion COVID relief package.
We will finish the job of getting a total of $2,000 in cash relief to people who need it the most. The $600 already appropriated is simply not enough.
It would be difficult to find a worse use of money in an economic relief and stimulus plan.
Michael Strain is the director of economic policy studies at the American Enterprise Institute, a conservative think tank. He says the next round of checks will cost an additional $500 billion.
I am concerned about what might happen when the government spends another $1.9 trillion of borrowed deficit finance money.
He makes the case for more targeted stimulus, pointing to data showing that while lower-income households spend their stimulus checks, higher-income families were more likely to save or invest them. But the White House says it's not just low-income households in need of help.
I think what's important to the president is that we don't lose sight of people in the middle of the income scale who continue to struggle with both the health and economic fallout from this crisis. And these checks target them effectively and efficiently.
Some Americans are also using the money to pay off debts. Despite the economic downturn, Experian says U.S. credit card debt actually decreased last year, thanks in part to the stimulus checks.
I used to dream about someone just tossing $1,000 in my lap so I could pay off my loans because that's so stressful.
Elena Panyard used her stimulus checks toward her credit card bills and more than $25,000 in student loans. She says she would have preferred to spend them entirely on local businesses, but couldn't pass up a chance to chip away at the pile of debt.
I think a lot of people wanted to help stimulate the economy, but it's really difficult when you have all this debt weighing on you.
Strain says paying off debt isn't the main purpose of the checks.
They're not going to go out and spend money, so that defeats the stimulative goal.
What would you say to critics who say these checks are wasteful and we shouldn't be giving out this money right now?
I would say stop going to your job for 2 weeks. Throw away 50% of your food, 50% of your household appliances. Put about a quarter tank of gas in your car for about 2 weeks and still try to live your life and see if you can withhold it. Come live in the shoes of somebody who's not as fortunate as you for just about 2-3 weeks, and then tell me if that stimulus check is needed.
For ABC News Live, I'm Elizabeth Schulze in Washington.
Elizabeth, thank you. When we come back, please don't kill me. The chilling last words from a 30-year-old, according to his family to police. But the department denies using any serious force. Why the EU has fallen so behind in the race to vaccinate and the warning signs for us. But up next, why the family of the woman who inspired the iconic Aunt Jemima is worried that the effort to correct the wrongs of the past might also erase her legacy.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir.
We have made it through another week together.
America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
Admit it, these days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC. It's all about you.
Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, Michael Strahan. Wake up with America's #1 most watched morning show. ABC's
Good Morning America.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
ABC News honored winner for the second straight year with the Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television. ABC News, America's #1 news source. Friday nights, 9/8 Central. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime. 2020. Friday nights, 9/8 Central on ABC.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. #1 in the morning, #1 in the evening, with America's most watched newscast. #1 in late night versus the competition. The #1 news magazine on Friday nights. #1 in politics across this historic election versus the competition. The #1 daytime talk show. And #1 in streaming news. ABC News is America's #1 news.
Now to an update on a story that we brought you last August. PepsiCo this month formalized its name change for the popular pancake mix Aunt Jemima. The decision to phase out the brand was made last year in the midst of the so-called racial reckoning in this country. But tonight, the family of the first woman who played Aunt Jemima is worried in the push to correct perceived wrongs that her history is in danger of being erased. Our Deborah Roberts reports on the effort to preserve her legacy.
A familiar box in kitchens all across the country is about to change for good. After 131 years, PepsiCo is rebranding Aunt Jemima pancake mix. Get ready for the Pearl Milling Company mix. And while some celebrate the end of this imagery, others not so much.
For sure it was a punch in the gut. Why would you do that? At this specific time, why would you choose that name?
Pearl Milling, the company that helped create the original self-rising mix, found success only after the two white owners hired a black woman to perfect and market the recipe.
Your biggest hope was that what? That they would actually just put the histories of the actual women in place of Aunt Jemima?
That was our hope, that they would do the right thing and acknowledge the women who made this brand successful worldwide.
We first brought you that untold story of one of America's hidden figures months ago, revealing her unmarked Chicago grave, which recently got a formal headstone.
For that to happen 100 years later, for her to get her gravestone, for her to get her tombstone, it's just amazing.
You've probably never heard her name, but Nancy Green has likely been in your kitchen.
When my mom would prepare pancakes, that was just part of the whole experience of being in the household, is that you sat there and waited for the pancakes to be prepared so that you could get them, hot off the griddle.
Right there on your pancake box.
As a kid, my mother always made those.
Everybody ate those pancakes.
And Jemima pancakes without
her face on the box was probably the one way that households were integrated.
Add some butter and syrup. You'll like them. Aunt Jemima. Perfect pancakes in 10 shakes.
The Aunt Jemima recipe, pioneered by Nancy Green, giving rise to the American pancake. Long before she pioneered that famous mix, Nancy Green was born into slavery in Montgomery County, Kentucky.
She was taken away from, she's not with her family, but she is learning to survive and use her God-given talent to still push forward and move forward, which is the story of most African-American people in the United States, that they used what they had to become what they were.
After the Civil War, Green moved to a divided Chicago, becoming a strong voice at Olivet Baptist Church, the oldest black congregation.
This church was noted for its work to shield those who had escaped slavery, who arrived here in Chicago, because there were many slave catchers in Chicago still pursuing people who were of African descent.
Sherry Williams lives in Chicago's Bronzeville neighborhood and has been shining a light on Nancy Green's story for more than a decade.
Most people have no idea who Nancy Green was. Why is that, do you think?
I believe because she is looked upon as a character, as opposed to a living, breathing individual.
Even connecting the dots for one of her descendants.
She actually opened up a box that we couldn't open.
Literally opened a box. Marcus Hayes only recently learned about his family's past.
When I found out about it, to be honest, I was shocked and excited at the same time.
A history forged through a recipe Nancy Green first whipped up for the family she cooked and cared for.
It was so good that the boys would now tell everyone, hey, I have a caretaker who cooks for us, and she makes this amazing recipe, and she calls them flapjacks. And the milling company heard about it and knew that she was using their meal. They came and sought her out.
Just like that, Aunt Jemima was born. The big debut, the World's Fair at Chicago's Jackson Park back in 1893. Green selling 50,000 boxes of the now famous pancake mix.
She was the trusted face back then. Anybody who would look at an African-American woman cooking, they knew that they can trust her cooking.
And over all those years, ads for Aunt Jemima never mentioning Nancy Green.
She was a businesswoman. She created her own agency through what she did well as a storyteller, as a cook, as a nurse.
After Green died in 1923, other women became the living Aunt Jemima symbols, ambassadors hired by Quaker Oats to continue the legacy. Last June, in the midst of the country's racial reckoning, PepsiCo, Quaker Oats' parent company, decided it was time for Aunt Jemima to go. And weeks ago, the new brand revealed. Nancy Green's family, disappointed, says no one reached out to them.
What do you want to say to PepsiCo right now?
Conversation. All it takes is a conversation. When you move in silence, only one side of the story is being told.
If they had changed the name to Pearl Milling Company and still somehow acknowledged Nancy Green and others on the back of the product, might that have been a solution?
That would have been a very positive solution. How great and how noble it would be to acknowledge that that there were profound women who represented the product.
There are people who are concerned right now about images, antiquated images, these minstrel images, which is why PepsiCo is thinking maybe it's time for that image to go. What's your feeling about that?
In no time ever have I heard anyone in my community say that this image was one that was derogatory. So I don't know where that sentiment is coming from.
In a statement to ABC News on the name change, PepsiCo said, "Our hope is that those who trusted and loved Aunt Jemima over the years will continue to support the brand as Pearl Milling Company and understand our need to evolve. PepsiCo maintaining it is a common misperception that the brand's original image was premised on a specific person.
It's not about money. This is about the truth.
A truth and a story now being told.
Nancy, you're a storyteller, and now your story is being told again.
After a decade-long push, Sherry finally raised the money to give this trailblazer a proper headstone and marker she's long deserved. Headstone artist Mark Hunt not even aware of Nancy Green's past.
It's been an inspiration to me, and it's been an eye-opener for me. Yeah. Because a lot of people like myself didn't know what she did.
Carefully etching a face that will now be preserved for generations.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh my God. Phenomenal.
Sherry getting her first look at the headstone she's fought so hard for.
I love it. Look at the details.
Love born out of America's racial reckoning and the realization of hard work still ahead.
You're about to go and view Nancy Green's headstone and celebrate what has finally become her, official legacy. To have this name change happen now, just before you're about to go and acknowledge her in this way, it must feel a little different for you.
Yeah, definitely leaves a hole. If she was here, my words to her was, we're trying. We're trying. We're sorry that it had to happen this way, but we're trying.
For ABC News Live, I'm Deborah Roberts.
Her legacy certainly still lives on. Our thanks to Deborah for that. And still ahead here on Prime, Bruce Springsteen in court, the charge he pled guilty to, and his response when a judge fined him $540. And our look at the mental health crisis gripping our children during this unrelenting pandemic. We take a look by the numbers. But first, our tweet of the day. This new potential postal car causing quite a stir online.
I know what happened, and I'm not guilty.
Why the fascination with criminal trials? Figure out what's really out there.
She revealed she had murdered his family.
I know in my heart they did this.
It's the time of suspicion.
The ending's really tough.
You don't know whether truth is going to be difficult to find unless you try to find it.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC. It's all about you.
Assault on the Capitol, the ABC News original, exclusively on Hulu, now streaming. With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir.
We have made it through another week together.
America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, Michael Strahan. Wake up with America's #1 most watched morning show. ABC's
Good Morning America.
ABC News honored winner for the second straight year with the Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television. ABC News, America's #1 news source.
Yesterday, he had a meltdown. At the end of the day, he was pretty fried. They were on the Zoom from 8:35 to 2:30 in the afternoon.
They're hating school and they're depressed, they're dejected, their grades are falling, they're regressing.
He's really struggled to find motivation in school. I mean, he's borderline depressed. He used to be an honor student and his grades just dropped bottom.
I started playing my Xbox way more and turned to my phone to communicate with my friends.
I have a third grader with autism. It's not that virtual learning is inconvenient for him. He engages in self-harm.
Most wrenching thing emotionally to see these kids regress, to see them depressed. My son has suicidal thoughts. He sent me a text saying that he wanted to commit suicide.
Hard to hear all of that. Those are some of the frustrated calls of parents and children struggling with isolation, depression, and anxiety during this pandemic. Experts warn that many American kids and teens are now facing a full-fledged mental health emergency. We take a closer look by the numbers. Emergency departments saw a 31% spike in the proportion of mental health visits by children aged 12 to 17 in 2020, according to the CDC. The increase was 24% for children aged 5 to 11. Disruptive behavioral disorders increased 40% over the summer during the lockdowns, and suicide attempts by kids and teens increased 20%, according to the American Academy of Pediatrics and the Children's Hospital Association. If you are struggling with thoughts of suicide or worried about a loved one or a friend, help is available. Call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255 or text TALK to 741-741 for free, confidential, emotional support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we still have lots ahead to get to here tonight on Prime. The deadly school bus accident that the driver reportedly didn't even realize happened. The global vaccination campaign is ramping up. This as Europe continues to struggle to get those shots into arms. And what's so special about this painting? Stay with us. But first, a look at our top trending stories on abcnews.com.
We will guide you through it all tonight. We have made it through another week together.
Big hug,
We tell all our patients how much they're loved. We hold their hands.
David, we're showing our love and support for all the ICU staff.
They're the heroes in this.
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. #1 in the morning, #1 in the evening, with America's most watched newscast. #1 in late night versus the competition. The #1 news magazine on Friday nights. #1 in politics across this historic election versus the competition. The #1 daytime talk show. And #1 in streaming news. ABC News is America's #1 news.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
ABC News honored winner for the second straight year with the Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television. ABC News, America's #1 news source.
This is GMA3, what you need to know. GMA3.
A third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon.
It's all about you. Lunchtime on ABC.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Friday nights, 9/8 Central. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime. 2020. Friday nights, 9/8 Central on ABC.
The most powerful stories of our time, anytime. Nightline.
Just days away from potential emergency use authorization, the U.S. is now likely on the verge of a third vaccine. New analysis today finding the Johnson & Johnson one-dose vaccine safe and effective. 86% effective for preventing severe illness in the U.S. alone, and 100% effective in preventing hospitalizations or deaths. Another key finding, the report saying the single-dose vaccine may also prevent some asymptomatic disease when you don't even know you have it. The FDA saying the vaccine had the expected side effects like fever and fatigue, but no reports of severe allergic reactions.
Overall, the vaccine provides very robust protection throughout the world, including against the worrisome viral variants.
Johnson & Johnson says it could have 3 to 4 million doses sent out next week. It could have 100 million doses by the summer.
Tonight, Tiger Woods is recovering from a crash that sent his car tumbling over a median and through a stand of trees, and had many fearing he wouldn't make it. During emergency surgery, doctors inserting a metal rod in the golf great's right tibia below the knee to stabilize the bones, which were shattered. Screws and pins were also implanted to broken bones in his foot and ankle. The swelling so bad, doctors had to cut away tissue to relieve dangerous pressure and swelling in his muscles and to prevent nerve damage. And LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva saying officers determined that Woods was not under the influence.
This is purely an accident.
But tonight, his fellow golfers are not concerned with his career. They're just grateful their friend is alive.
Everyone should just be grateful that he's here, that he's alive, that his kids haven't lost their dad. That's the most important thing.
The body of a little boy found lying in the middle of the street, apparently struck by a school bus.
Investigators believe the child was struck and killed while trying to board his own school bus.
Police telling us at this point they don't believe the driver knew that the bus had hit that 6-year-old. They were able to stop the bus and are now interviewing that bus driver.
In New Jersey, Bruce Springsteen pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge from an incident in November.
Federal prosecutors said they were unable to sustain DWI and reckless driving charges, so they were dismissed, and Springsteen pleaded guilty to a single charge of consuming alcohol in Gateway National Recreation Area. There's no alcohol allowed on the federal property, and Springsteen agreed to plead guilty and pay a $500 fine.
Vincent van Gogh painted this Paris street scene more than 100 years ago, but until now it's never gone on public display. One of the very few Van Goghs in private hands, it's now being auctioned, giving a rare chance to see it.
One of the reasons the colors are so well preserved in this work is the quality of the pigments that Van Gogh used.
It will be displayed in Paris, Amsterdam and Hong Kong before being auctioned next month. The auction house Sotheby's estimates it will sell for at least $6 to $9.7 million.
Now to a mother searching for answers in the death of her son. According to his family, 30-year-old Anthony Quinto was experiencing a mental health episode. They called police for help, and 3 days later, Anthony passed away. A wrongful death lawsuit has now been filed against the local police department. ABC News' Kana Whitworth brings us this report from California.
Tonight, the family of a 30-year-old Navy veteran who died after police restrained him is speaking out, alleging a police officer put a knee on his neck until he lost consciousness and died 3 days later.
It didn't make sense to use that level of force and restraint on somebody who was not violent.
What happened? Newly released video showing the aftermath of the disturbing incident. Angelo Quinto on the ground. You can hear his mother's panic. Cassandra Quinto Collins says her son, who suffers from depression, was having a mental health crisis when they called police on December 23rd for help.
Does he have a pulse?
She says when they arrived, Quinto was calm, alleging that police then grabbed him and threw him to the ground.
He says, "Please don't kill me," at least twice. Ultimately, the George Floyd pole was placed on the back of his neck, cut off his breathing apparatus, and he was comatose within a matter of minutes.
ABC News has reached out to the Antioch Police Department for comment and has not heard back. Contra Costa County District Attorney and Sheriff's Office are investigating the case. Lindsay, the family is planning on filing a wrongful death lawsuit against the police department. Now, authorities have not released the cause of death, but Lindsay, the family is having an independent autopsy performed.
Kana, our thanks to you. Ghana is officially the first country in the world to receive vaccines through the United Nations-backed COVAX initiative. About 600,000 doses of AstraZeneca arrived in the capital city of Accra. Today's delivery is part of the first wave of COVID-19 vaccines that COVAX is sending to several low- and middle-income countries around the world. Vaccines are marvels of technology, yet in Europe, many are skeptical that they even work. Some say that this could lead to major cracks in the long-term strength of the EU and its capital, Brussels, to get member states to work together. It could cause major hurdles in the global effort to contain the pandemic. James Longman has more.
There are feelings, and then there are facts.
And nobody knows what this vaccine contains.
You keep saying nobody knows.
How can we?
But with COVID-19, feelings often overwhelm the facts.
So what's quite clear is that people aren't really interested in having a debate. They just want to tell you what they think without listening to what you have to say.
At this small anti-vax protest in France, 30 or so people braved the cold with their false beliefs. But Europe's anti-vaxxers are just part of the reason Europe is lagging so far behind the United States in the race to vaccinate.
The government treats us like sheep. No, we have liberty. We can choose to wear the mask or not. We can choose to get the vaccine or not. It's my body. Nobody touches me.
A year ago, the EU was praised for the relative coordination of its pandemic response compared to the US. Locking down when needed, closing non-essential businesses and scaling back public events. Now there's anger and chaos facing its vaccination program. France is one of the most vaccine-skeptic nations in the world. In January, one poll said only 56% of people said they'd get the vaccine. The French have a long history of distrusting the state. We saw it firsthand when we spoke to people at this market in northern France.
French people in general are weary.
The fact that we produce this in record time, we ask ourselves if it's effective, if there won't be too many side effects.
But France was once an immunization pioneer, creating the shots that protect against tuberculosis and rabies. And when the renowned Pasteur Institute abandoned finding a COVID-19 vaccine, it was seen as a national embarrassment. Right now, 4.9% of people in France have received the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. In Germany, it's around 4.8%. Those numbers pale in comparison to those of the UK, where about 25% of people have already received their first jab.
I think everybody who's been involved in the vaccination program can be incredibly proud of what has been achieved.
Britain, freshly Brexited from the EU, ordered the AstraZeneca vaccine 3 months before the European Union. And even though Britain didn't need Brexit to get their doses, since technically each country could have ordered their own, it's made Brexit look good. Despite Britain having one of the highest death rates per capita in the world. The botched EU rollout has put the main EU powers on the defensive.
I fully support the European approach that we've had because we should not vaccinate one country over another.
So why was Europe so slow? It's a question of risk. The UK was prepared to pay more and take more of a risk with liabilities. The EU wasn't. Brussels also wanted all 27 member states to act together, a painfully slow process. Brussels is now playing catch-up, waiting on AstraZeneca to deliver the promised doses while battling a hesitant public. And even though Europe's medical agency gave AstraZeneca the green light, many European countries said there wasn't enough data to prove it worked in the over 65s. Public confidence further eroded.
The most common points are the fear of adverse effect, the idea that it is better to let nature take its course, and the idea that there is a collision between pharmaceutical companies and health authorities. The refusal of a vaccine should be interpreted also and above all by a posture of individual freedoms defenses. And I think in France we have historically fought for the state not to interfere in our privacy.
And there's another serious dynamic at play.
Is populism on the rise in France? Is that why, do you think?
Yes, the rise of anti-vaccine movements in Europe and in France is linked to the rise of populism speeches.
Hungary, currently seeing a worrying tilt to the far right and a clampdown on free press, is going its own way, ordering Russian and Chinese vaccines. Other populist movements from Italy to France have gained politically. This vaccine chaos is testing the very fabric of a united Europe. James Longman, ABC News Live, Paris.
Our thanks to James for that. And when we return, the 101-year-old woman who has been inspiring others for decades.
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. #1 in the morning, #1 in the evening, with America's most watched newscast. #1 in late night versus the competition. The #1 news magazine on Friday nights. #1 in politics across this historic election versus the competition. The #1 daytime talk show. And #1 in streaming news. ABC News is America's #1 news.
The most powerful stories of our time, anytime. Nightline.
Friday nights, 9/8 Central. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime. 2020. Friday nights, 9/8 Central on ABC.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC. It's all about you.
I know what happened, and I'm not guilty.
Why the fascination with criminal trials? Figure out what's really out there.
She revealed she had murdered his family.
I know in my heart that he did this.
It's the time of suspicion.
The ending's really tough.
You don't know whether truth is going to be difficult to find unless you try to find it.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Welcome back. We'd like to introduce you to the 101-year-old veteran who has been showing strength and inspiring others for decades, and she is still hard at work. Robin Roberts shares her story.
Good morning, Romay. My name is Romay Davis.
Meet Ms. Romay Davis, the 101 years young grocery store associate who still drives herself to work Monday through Friday. For Miss Romay, it's a job with purpose.
I like to work. I like beauty, and I think that's part of it. I like things well done. I've learned to work with a little, I guess, and I've been doing it ever since.
As a young girl from Virginia, Miss Romay enlisted in the Army, becoming a member of the first all-black women Army Corps unit deployed overseas for World War II. In
the military, I was at motor pool, and I enjoyed that, even though I worked inside. But when an officer needed to go somewhere, generally they called me to.
After the war, Miss Romay attended fashion school in New York City and pursued a 30-year career in the industry, despite the odds.
During the time when people didn't like us, you know, because we were black, I used to not want to be around. I'd be by myself. But then as I went into the business world, things changed. And also I realized that if you were efficient and do what you had to do it well, that people will get along with you, whether they like to or not.
The trailblazer found a new calling 20 years ago at the age of 80. Not interested in slowing down, she applied for a job at her local grocery, where she continues to work today, lovingly embraced by her colleagues.
Happy birthday to Miss Romay.
Now, Southeastern grocers honoring their hometown hero with the Romay Davis Belonging, Inclusion, and Diversity Grant, awarding grants to 9 nonprofits committed to addressing racial inequity.
It will allow us to provide some additional services and resources right here in the Baton Rouge community.
Ensuring Miss Romay's legacy lives on through hard work and persistence.
Be sure you want to do what you attempt to do, first of all. And then you stick with it. Knowing, too, that it's going to be hard times, good times. You can't accomplish anything like overnight. You have to study. You have to believe in yourself, first of all. Believe in yourself that you can do it. And you'll find the ways to do that.
Such an inspiration. Our thanks to Robin for that. And before we go tonight, our image of the day. Take a look at this sheep. Yeah, there's a sheep under there somewhere. This video has been making the rounds online and caught our attention. That sheep in Australia was caught in the wild and had 77 extra pounds of wool fleece that had to be cut off. This was the result after his haircut. I'm not looking too shabby there. That is our show for this hour. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Have a great night.
Heart disease is the leading cause of death in America today.